deeper than music. The core of you, the fans, the truth is deeper than music, deeper than music. Simply the truth is the latest, the newest. It's deeper than music, deeper than music. The core of you, the fans, the truth is deeper than music, deeper than music. Simply the truth is the latest, the newest. It's deeper than music, deeper than music.
What up, what up, what up, everybody out there in internet land? Deeper Than Music Radio. Behind every great song, there's an even greater story. Like to say what's up to everybody listening on Spreaker, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Cast FM, and the various platforms that we're on. Today, we got a very special guest. Not only is he a teacher, he's also a teacher with his music. DFW local artist Jay Lejend is here in the building. How you doing, Jay?
I'm good, brother. How you doing? It's your man Lejend. Happy to be here. Thanks for the opportunity, brother.
Oh, not a problem, man. Not a problem, man. Thank you for being on the show. We had Monster last week on the show, and after talking with him, man, he said, "Yo, you gotta interview Jay Lejend, man. He's also a teacher." Monster dropped some jewels last week, so I guess my first question is to the listeners: who is Jay Lejend, and what is he bringing to the music scene?
Okay. Oh, well, I go by Lejend. It's just Lejend. We'll spell it with a J. Man, I'm just trying to open people's eyes, man. I just dropped a new project, and I'm really just getting people to kind of just take a look within themselves. Really, that's what I'm trying to do, and just bring some content, some substance with my music. I mean, because I grew up on a certain type of music, and I just want to translate certain emotions and certain mind states through my music and explore just different things that might be outside of who I am as a person, but I still want to kind of research and understand those things because, they happen in my world. I'm a parent too, so, you know what I mean? There's things that probably affect me, indirectly. So, I mean, I just have to be aware of a lot of things, and I just try to let people talk to people about being aware about their environment.
Oh yeah, no, I hear you, man. I'm a parent as well. Matter of fact, man, I posted on Facebook not too long ago, man. I was watching. There was a series on YouTube, man. They break down different songs, and they had Manny Fresh, and back that ass up. 20 years ago, that was my jam.
That was the joint. That was the joint back in the day.
But now, being a father to a 12-year-old girl, I hear it with different ears. So,
man, it's crazy how like the stuff like how you view things. The same thing 20 years later you view totally different, especially when you become a parent because your responsibilities and your obligations are different. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I saw a saying, man. They were like, look, if you have the same mindset that you had 20 years ago, then you didn't learn anything in those 20 years.
Man, it's crazy. I went to school, graduated from high school. I went to college. I have a degree in sociology and history. But it's crazy. The most of the things that I've learned is in traveling and meeting people and just being out in the world. Those are the best lessons that have stuck with me more than anything. And let me just take a moment to shout out my man Monster. He's been an individual that's always helped me. He took me on my first tour like 8 years ago. We did a West Coast tour. So big him. He's always supported me. And I mean, that's like a brother to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, he's definitely a cool cat, man. And he dropped some gems last week. So when did you have that moment? I guess it's like I was thinking about this too, man. Brown Sugar, the movie in the beginning. My question: when did you fall in love with hip hop, man? When did you know you wanted to be an MC?
Man, it was crazy. I think it was just probably a 2-piece thing for me because I fell in love with hip hop a long time ago because I just feel like it translated messages and emotions that I couldn't quite speak up for myself for, but they were saying it for me. So, I mean, that happened at a young age. I mean, that happened, I think, around when I was 10, 11, you know what I mean? So, those I grew up in the 90s, so it was 90s hip-hop was becoming real popular, and I mean, I kind of got swept up in that. But just as far as actually being an MC and participating from that standpoint, that came kind of towards the end of college when I was just around in cypher spitting and cats would always be like, man, yo, you really be spitting some stuff. And as time went on, I thought that, you know, maybe I need to, you know, take this a little bit further, you know what I'm saying? And I've always had a love for music. My pops, he played in this jazz band. You know, my mom, she always play her gospel music and, you know, her R&B, her old school joints. So, you know, it's always been a part of my life and always surround me. So I guess it just kind of absorbed in me, you know, subconsciously. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you was around it, and then you said you was in the 90s, man. And the 90s was just an explosion of good music, man. The Fugees, Nas, Wu-Tang.
So much hieroglyphics. You know
hieroglyphics, man. Del the Funky Homo Sapien.
Yeah, so it was just so much during that time. It just really wrapped me up. It made me. I saw it as a art form, like a true art form. Like it was. I think it's viewed differently now, but back when I was growing up, it was viewed as an art form that people did that had skills. You know, I mean, no knock against what they do now, but I think it's just a little bit less skill involved because, you know, technology comes into play, so it's a little bit more accessible for everybody. You know what I mean?
Now it's a business instead of back then. You know, hip hop was hip hop, but I liken it because I've been heavily paying attention to this Tommy Boy situation with De La Soul.
And that is crazy, isn't
it? Yeah, and they said like when they did the sampling, you know, Tommy Boy was like, yo. Back then, hip-hop was just localized, so they really didn't think, like, hey, it's not going to be that big, so why not invest? But
it's
because
crazy.
of that, now it's messing up their digital, you know, them being on their first pivotal albums not being on digital platforms, man. And I think that's what hip-hop is now. Like, before hip-hop, in the 90s, hip-hop was blossoming. That's when it's like, yo, this could be $1 billion business, and now we're at that level. So
it is.
And then with technology, it's oversaturated, man. Like nobody really has the art of storytelling, and even the older MCs are like, look, back in the day, to come out, you had to have skills. You couldn't.
But you know what I think is different now? It was back then. Stuff was it was expensive to do it. So the only people that were doing it were people who were serious because it cost too much money just to play around with it. Nowadays, you can play around with it for relatively, you know, it's relatively inexpensive to play around with it. So, you know, with that being said, you got a lot of cats that might not be as skillful as they were in the 90s because, I mean, you know, to go to a major studio and record some music, that costs a lot of money, you know, 15, 20 years ago, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and you had to get, money is time and time is money.
Yeah,
so
because, I mean, I record out of my crib now, you know, and you know, I go to studios sometimes, but it doesn't cost much to record nowadays.
No, you can do, man. I've done albums in my bedroom. You know what I mean?
Exactly. You know what I mean?
So we got your song, More Than More. We're gonna go ahead and showcase. Could you give us the story on this song?
Well, More Than More is really just about. We work with so many labels in our lifetime and in our society. We work so many labels. I mean, you see me, you judge me. I see you, you judge, you know, and I judge you. You know what I'm saying? So it's more or less about looking deeper into situations and trying to understand, you know, what's working behind the scenes. Because, I mean, I think that's really a lot of our problem here in America. You know, we're looking at everything from the external, you know what I mean, and judging off that. When we're not trying to find out what's deeper. And when we find out what's deeper, we'll realize, you know, there's more similarities than differences. And I mean, I think that's a good standpoint to build from. And I mean, that's really what the song's talking about. But the album speaks from the standpoint of myself and the things that I go through and the things I'm trying to do with myself. And I just want people to listen in on that and hope that they take something from that.
Wow. So here we go. Lejend, here on Deeper Than Music Radio, More Than More.
Hi, this is Jessica Rose, and you are listening to Furious on Deeper Than Music.
Not just deeds and words. My need to serve, plead and purge. Greed, unnerve, my need to preserve. feed my urge, the mission never disturbed. Listen to the actions, it's in the verbs. Attraction is heard, beauty's in the holder's eyes, but don't so leave alive. Bring the crowd to his feet, like lives on the fast break. Your head's bobbing when I drop it in the first take. Exquisite taste, birthplace of Lone Star State. A race to home waters, gun grade. Feelings to relate, evade glass ceilings and operate free space. The opera of the black face. Dark town strutters, move sharper than box cutters. Code is slang, only deciphered for true brothers. Yeah, true brothers, y'all. True. Open your ears, open your eyes, so you can hear now, so you can see now. Days, a rivalry between high side and sobriety. I meet to see because I got depths and dimensions unseen. Chemistry like kerosene, add color to your dream like beta carotene. Vivid like pages of Fader magazine. Breathtaking, earth-shaking, painstaking the process. I embark. Modern day monarch, make us mark, no fakers hearts. Showtime, Lakers start. Blow your mind, sit back and watch it break apart. Seeking a balance between economics and high-end art. My words like photographs, developed in the dark. Perish for the parts, cherish the sparks. Tidbits of the way legends did it. Yeah, the way legends did it. Open your ears, open your eyes, so you can hear now, so you can see now.
More Than More, and man, definitely a dope track. You know what you were saying reminds me of a situation, man, because I travel a lot for my job, and I had the opportunity to go to China, and everywhere I travel, I have like, and sometimes I tell people, excuse me for my American ignorance. Like the first time I saw a brother speaking in the UK English accent, I called him Jeffrey from Fresh Prince. Once he figured out I called him Jeffrey, he got upset. But when I went to China, you know, I had this preconceived notion. And actually, man, Beijing people are really laid back. And even when I came back, I was at TSA, and I'm like, yeah, I just got back from, you know, China, one TSA guys. And he, you know, he had his attitude about China. I mean, right now, you know, China and American relationships,
yeah, exactly.
You know, that's here nor there. But I feel like with technology and with a lot of people, and you said this, man, we don't relate on a human level, man. We're all human. We all feel the same. We all go through it. And my thing with China, like a lot of people, you're American there, they're inquisitive, you know. They're inquisitive. I mean, yeah, China's communist, but at the end of the day, people are people, man.
But the thing about it is, though, a lot of times, you know, we don't know the history of what led them to be communists. You know what I'm saying? We just know that they're communists. We don't know the history of China. And, you know, I have a degree in history, so I'm real big on history. And a lot of times we don't know what built up the situation. So it's like, as Americans, sometimes we can be very ignorant. And that's included myself. And a lot of things I talk about on my album that are wrong, I'm included myself because I'm just as ignorant as any American is. We are a lot of times just because we live in a certain kind of a vacuum. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Where we're fed all of this information and we're fed it from a certain point of view. So we never stop to think of, you know what's on the backside of that information we're receiving. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of situations, because I've had an opportunity to travel overseas and I went to Africa. And when I tell people about Africa, you know, all people think of Africa is like villages and kids with flies around their heads and swollen bellies. And that's not, you know, that's not what you're going to see when there's 55 countries in Africa and thousands of cities. So, I mean, you're going to see all kind of stuff like you wouldn't even imagine. So a lot of times, like you said, going to China, you get to actually see how things are. So sometimes when you come back to America, you don't always believe everything that you're fed, because different because you've seen it,
Yeah, you're right. I've been to Nairobi, and then shout out to Ethiopia, man. I mean, to the tragedy with the Ethiopian airline that went down, and it's not, because I mean, like you said, when I thought about Africa, I thought about We Are the World. You know what I mean? And
I mean, that's what people think. If you've never been there, that's what you think. And I mean, that's understandable because that's really the only images you see. You don't see them doing well. You don't see them blossoming with businesses, driving nice cars, and sprawling Metropolis. You just don't see that because unless you watch foreign news, if you watch like BBC News or watch some other kind of news on Channel 13, you may see that point of view. But American news is really never going to show you that. You know what I'm saying? I've never seen that, honestly.
So what influences you to create, man? And who are your influences, like other artists or MCs?
Man, it's crazy that you asked that because, I mean, from my start of making music until now, my influences changed so much. Like I mean, I was influenced by like Nas and Ras Kass and, like I said, Hieroglyphics, Wu-Tang Clan. Cats that really, they told stories. They were used a lot of details and a lot of description and help you paint this picture in your mind. But as I've gone on as an MC and I've been able to tour and I've been able to do shows and meet with people, really I gather my inspiration from the people that I come across because, like you said earlier, there's not a lot of human connection nowadays. And when I get a chance to tour and do shows, I make a lot of human connection, and I value those things to the utmost because that's what my mother taught me, that there's nothing more important than human beings. I don't care what's going on, and there's never any excuse about anything being more important than a human being. That's what my mother taught me. So just those connections I get, those inspire me. And it's crazy how people come to you that you don't even know, and they say, yo, I listened to this song and it made me feel a certain way. And I mean, that in itself right there propels me to continue to make people feel emotion and make them feel like they're alive and make them feel, sadness, happiness, nervousness, all the emotions that you feel as a human being, and help people that may not be able to express themselves through my music,
Yeah. And I believe as an artist, I think the greatest artists were able to connect to you on a human level. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That you were able to relate, like one of the albums that I think is a classic, man. And I mean, it came out, in 60s or 70s, but it's still relevant today is Marvin Gaye's What's Going On, man.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
That's such a potent record, you know what I'm saying? And it was made with such a timeless feel. Like you play that song right now, me and you start jamming to that mug because it's just timeless. And I mean, I strive to make music like Marvin Gaye and cats like that and really speak to the time. And I mean, it's crazy how what Marvin Gaye was talking about, a lot of the things are still recurring to this day. A lot of those artists are talking about things that are still happening. And, I just hope people look back on my music and say, he spoke with a certain type of honesty, and he spoke to things that were truly going on that affected me as a person and a lot of people feel like they're nobody, but I try to transmit through my music that everybody has a purpose and has something to say and a piece of what's going on a daily basis.
Yeah. And not only are you an MC, you also have a label as well, correct? Could you give us a rundown on that, on your movement and what you got going on?
It's taken me about 2 or 3 years, almost 4 years to put that label together. But about 2 months ago, I was able to release a EP called Drapetomania by an amazing artist named B Marie. And it was really, she was thanking me, but I really told her, thank you, because that was one of my dreams, to make something like that happen and to help her sculpt and mold her album and put it out. And it's got a lot of great reviews. We actually went on a tour this summer, and she was one of the artists on the tour and received so much support. She's actually also a painter too. So she sold a lot of her paintings. So I mean, that's somebody who truly inspires me too, because just the way she makes music and the way she paints, it's just, you want to keep people around you that inspire you creatively in a positive way.
Yeah, exactly, so, man.
I have a producer. His name is J. Lou. We're gonna be releasing some of his music with some other local artists and other well-known artists like Opio, some cats from Hieroglyphics. We've been talking to, so he's going to be my next artist out. So, you know, I as I grow as an artist, I wanted to continue to make music myself, but I also want to continue to help other people, you know, speak their voice and make their dreams come true and bring it to bring their what they have to life, their brand, you know.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, man. Not only are you building your brand and career, you're also nurturing like-minded talent, man. Kind of like, you know, back the Soulquarians, you know, how they all just native tongues back in the 90s.
That's what I'm saying. I think that, I mean, a lot of what's going on in music, we can point the finger at other, you know, at other fans and people who support music. But really, I just point the finger at artists because, I mean, we control, you know, what's hot. You know what I mean? And it's like there's not a lot of nurturing of artists and a lot of artist development that goes on nowadays. You know what I'm saying? That's why you see a lot of artists, they'll just get signed to deals because they were popular on Facebook or YouTube. And then all of a sudden they won't have that deal anymore because the authenticity and the skill wasn't really there. It was kind of like they were popular for the moment. It was kind of a fad. So, you know, I'm just trying to make music and support music that stands the test of time, really.
Yeah. So now, man, we have your other song, Hold. Can you give us a breakdown on Hold before we give us the story behind the music before we introduce this track?
Well, it's really just talking about all the things that can really just hold you back. You know what I'm saying? The people you surround yourself with. But a lot of times it's ourselves that hold our own. We hold our own selves back a lot of times. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I actually just started working on the video, and I'm trying to translate that message through the video about, you know, how, you know, certain circumstances can hold you down. Finances can hold you down. You know, friends who fake friends can hold you down. You know, just having certain mind states can hold you down. So, I mean, that's what I'm trying to translate in the song and translate in my music. But once again, I'm speaking from my perspective because I never want to tell someone who I don't know or don't know their experiences about their life and how they should attack things. I'm just saying, this is how I handle things. I hope that you can gain something from it.
There you go. Lejend here on Deeper Than Music Radio with Hold. This is Marquivas Furious Nias, and you're listening to Deeper Than Music Radio.
Ears and eyes. Pick up my latest EP, you catch a classic verse. Giving it away free, like clothes at the church. Never doze, always perch, pushing black market merch. A savage journey, your soul search. Draw back and purse, I just fall back and work. Inner pain, showing no signs of hurt. Grimy, showing no signs of dirt. With fame I flirt, like a dame in a skirt. 16s, as flames I disperse. Niagara couldn't quench my thirst. Stay steadfast, gotta eat before dessert. Keep my eyes on the prize purse, cause I got cheddar to nurse. For better or worse, tongues curse. Baptized to this wretched earth. Baptized to this wretched earth. Ho, let's go. Some are hold me up, man. Some are hold me back now. Some are hold me down now. Yeah, yo, some are hold me up, man. Some are hold me down now. Some are hold me down now. Yeah, yo, some are hold me up now. Some are hold me back, man. Some are hold me down now. Yeah, let's go. Ho, yeah, ho. You hold me back now. Or hold me down now. Ho, yo. Or hold me down now. Or hold me back now. Or hold me up now. Or hold me down now. Life just perceptions, so I sit with reflections and write resurrections. Relentless pursuit of perfection, unique affection. My memories, all I can salvage for recollection. Possessed by our possessions, fine line between driven and obsession. Stopped by my own thoughts, nerve in its twist tighter than a dreadlock. Until my head pop from headshots. Laying down lines like feds ran into the spot. Sinister plots, raw school of thought, self-defined. Purpose on purpose, change through the lenses of time. The lenses of time. Some are hold me up, man. Some are hold me back now. Some are hold me down now. Yeah, yo. Some are hold me up, man. Some are hold me down now. Some are hold me down now. Yeah, yo. Some are hold me up now. Some are hold me back, man. Some are hold me down now. Yeah, let's go. Ho, yeah, ho. They hold me back now. Or hold me down now. Ho, yo. Or hold me down now. Or hold me back now. Hold me up now, or hold me down now. Hold.
Lejend. Oh man, it's like the universe is talking, because the conversations that we've been talking about have been heavily on my mind, man. And one thing that I had to learn is that you in your journey, you can't bring everybody with you, man, and not everybody's gonna be on the same level you are. Are you there? Oh, like I was saying, man, I feel like the universe is talking. One thing I had to learn, speaking of hold, is that you can't bring everybody with you, man, and you can't teach people to have certain qualities. And I'm pretty sure you ran into this with your label. You see a talented person, but you sometimes you may sometimes people are prone to get into stuff. You know what I mean? You can't save everybody, man. And then that could be a hold or a setback.
Yeah, that, man, it's so true. And I mean, a lot of my music, I try to deliver it in a simplistic manner, but honestly, a lot of the things I'm talking about are, they are complex things. You know what I mean? They are complex issues, and I mean, I don't think I have any answers for them. I think that I just try to throw out some ideas, try to brainstorm, try to just put something out there for someone to just, get that conversation and that dialogue going, so we can look at things differently, I think, Yeah,
so as an MC and as a label head, what has been your most rewarding moment in your career?
Honestly, man, this tour that we took this past summer, we booked it and we put it together ourselves, man. So that was a real big thing for us. It was like a 7-city tour, and we toured up in New England area, and we did Suppress in New York, and it was just really dope that we put everything together ourselves. And I mean, everybody, it's not a lot of people, you know what I'm saying? It's me and, a couple of other people that work together to make things happen on a large scale. So, that summer tour that we had, it was really successful, and we're actually planning another one. So, we're just trying to, make dreams and memories and continue to just replicate that over and over again, you know what I'm saying? And just, come across people and let people know that, there's music out here for you. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of music out here for you. It's not just the stuff that you hear on the radio or the stuff that's plastered across the TV all the time.
Man, that makes so much sense. You did a tour in New England. One of my first tours, shout out to Silver Tongue Entertainment, Detention, Terminology, and Show Off Records, man. One of my first mini tours was done up in New England, and they appreciate hip hop, man.
Dude, they do. You're not lying at all.
Man, they got I went to Peterborough, man. I went to Peterborough, New Hampshire, and actually I implanted to New England because of that, man. My manager at the time, and we still keep, one of my good friends, Jeanette Elner, she was like, at the time I was living in San Diego, she was like, come out to New England. So I went out to New England, got to rock the Paradise Rock Club with Detention, and man, God used to do Mo Mega, man. I can't remember his name. And another major act out that way. But I remember being in Peterborough, and back then this was with MySpace, and I'm looking at these hip hop cats, man. And I go to Peterborough, man. It's these cats, just these kids, man, in this one room, and they sitting there making beats, doing hip hop. And to this day, man, New England has held me down, and I would have never known. And I actually did a show with Killah Priest out that way as well, and I didn't realize, man, they love Wu-Tang. They love hip-hop out there. Yeah,
so they love that hip-hop. And, I mean, I'm talking about that real grimy, that early form of hip-hop. You know what I mean?
So it would make sense that your music is out there, man, because I could see that. What has been the most challenging aspect of your career, most challenging moment, or your challenges that you're having now?
I think a lot of times, and I mean, I think it's pretty common. I mean, finances, I think, is a big thing, but also I think it's just that getting that momentum and staying with that momentum, because every day it's like when you do things for yourself, there's nobody. It's not like someone's coming saying, "Hey, you didn't make that song. Oh, you didn't make that video. You didn't do what you're supposed to do." Nah, if you don't do it, you just don't do it. So just keeping yourself constantly motivated. And I think the more that you do things, they can be self-propelling. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like if you do a video and drop it and it does well, that's going to automatically propel you to, make more music and make more videos. So, I mean, a lot of times lately, I've just been trying to be inspired by my own art that I do make, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And my own work ethic, you know what I mean? So,
yeah,
that's like, really how I look at it.
When you do it yourself, man, it's all on you.
It is.
You got to make it happen. I like Eminem, one of his songs, he's like, look, this song ain't going to write itself. You know what I mean?
Man, you're not lying, man. I was recording earlier, and probably I'm going to record me some more stuff tonight because I got a couple projects that I'm working on right now that I'm going to be releasing here in the next couple weeks, to follow up Ears and Eyes, because, I haven't really released a whole bunch of music like I wanted to, you know what I mean? Yeah. Just because I've relied on other people, you know what I mean? But this year I'm not really relying on anybody else but myself. So you're going to see a lot more projects from me this year, you know what I mean?
The stuff you speaking. So I have a label. It's called Standalone Music, and that was the thing behind it. And then my mother always taught me, if you take an interest in something, learn as much as you can.
And, you got to.
I taught myself how to do music, music theory, how to produce. Even with this radio show, I was at a radio station, and then I learned the ins and outs. I mean, and I went through a broadcasting academy in high school, and it's just like nobody's gonna champion your stuff more than you are, man. And
no, never.
Unfortunately, and especially let's go back to De La Soul. And artists, major artists, now that we're finding out, they relied on a label to get stuff done. No disrespect to major labels, but as far as ownership, even when they said they're going to release, Tommy Boy is going to release the stuff digitally, and they only get 10%.
That's sad.
Now in our era, we can do it all and own the masters and the publishing.
Yeah, but I think just different from how it was back in the day, we just have more access to information. Yeah. It's like if you want to know a music business law, if you want to know, how to promote a single, I mean, you can go look that stuff up. Yeah. It's not hard, you know what I'm saying? So, but I do believe that, people say the game's oversaturated, but I think the game's exactly like it's supposed to be. Yep. You know what I'm saying? There's music for everybody. Yep. And I mean, honestly, that's how it's really always been. But I think that divide has grown over time. But even in the 90s, there was music that, the artists may have been popping, but I didn't necessarily like their music. But that didn't stop them from being hot. I just had the type of music that I listen to. And I think it's the same way now. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of young cats out here that are dope, though. You know what I'm saying? I'm not one of these young dudes who's out here like, oh, all this young cats is whack. Nah, some of these old cats is whack. Some of these young cats is whack.
Oh,
and
yeah,
you know what I mean? That's just the reality of it.
Good music is timeless. I mean, like the young cats have the young and innovation. The older heads, we got, somebody told me this a while ago, and I was like, man, that makes sense. We had a singer, but he didn't have like life experience. So we doing co-writes and trying to tell him, look, you got to have this emotion. So with the older cats, you seasoned, you got more life experience, so you have more content. The young kids are like innovative, you know what I mean? Like, hey man, we're gonna develop a new sound. So like you said, everything evens out.
It does. Because I mean, I got a son. He's 14. I mean, he listens to all that stuff, and and I don't know what a lot of that stuff is, just to be honest. You know what I'm saying? I try to keep up with a lot of it, but it's so much of it, and then a lot of the times it just reminds me, I sit back and like, dang, I guess that's how my mom used to be with me. Like, I don't know what he listened to, but it just sounds crazy. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's how she used to do when I was listening to Redman and Wu-Tang and Roots and all that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So the next song we got queued up is called Blue Draz. Can you give us the rundown on this song?
That's actually that's the B Marie's single.
Oh, okay, so that's your artist.
Yeah, so I wanted to include that because I wanted y'all to get a little bit of flavor for that. My man Architect, he's a Bay Area legend. He's worked with he's toured with the Hieroglyphics, Souls of Mischief. He produced the track. He's a good friend of mine. He's a mentor. And so this track is just really kind of her just talking about just daily struggles that you have and just trying to overcome those things in type of a way that you can elevate yourself out of your current circumstances.
Okay, here we go. Artists on Legend's record label, and shout out to the label. What's the name of the label?
It's Garvey Prospects Media, and she is B. Marie.
B. Marie, here we go. Blue Dress here on Deeper Than Music Radio. That was B. Marie, Blue Dress here on Deeper Than Music Radio. So with all of my great interviews, time goes by so fast. So my question is, because I mean you're a teacher, you dropping knowledge, you dropping gems. What advice would you give anybody that's listening to the show or any person that aspires to be like you? Like, man, I love Lejend. I feel what he's doing. I want to do exactly what he's doing. What would be your advice?
Man, where can I start at? I think I think social media can be real dangerous because a lot of times as an artist, you can compare yourself to other people that are doing things online and kind of look at them and like, yo, why am I not doing that? And I think sometimes even I might get caught in doing that as well. But a lot of times I think that you have to realize that, those things happen to those people because they put in work. And the same thing can happen for you as long as you put in that work and be consistent. And just my advice would be like, do something every single day towards what you're trying to accomplish. I don't care how big or small it is. Even if it's 1 or 2 emails you sent to somebody that you're trying to collaborate with, or a radio station you're trying to get with, or a podcast or producer or whatever. Just do something small or big, whatever it is, daily towards what you're doing. Never slip. And even if you miss a day, that next day that comes, you get right back on it. You know what I'm saying? You're going to get knocked down, but you just got to hop right back up and get on it. I mean, that's my best advice, consistency. Yeah,
no, you're right, man. And I think your advice you're giving, that also builds habits, man. Good habits.
Habits are key.
Yeah. And then at the end of the day, because I know we spoke about this, and you want to make life music, man. At the end of the day, when it's all said and done, what do you want your legacy to be?
Man, I hope that people look at me, number one, and say, man, that dude was an amazing father. That's one thing that I hope that people say, and I hope that they say he was an amazing brother, he was an amazing husband, he was an amazing friend. I think those things I hope more than anything, because music, if he was rich or if he had this or had that, or if he flowed dope or flowed, had bars, none of that stuff I think matters in the end. I just hope people recognize me, like I said, as a good father and brother and friend, and so on, that was truly there for them when they needed someone, you know what I'm saying? And not just there because I benefited from it, just there because I truly cared for who they were as people. Wow.
No, man, so it's all about the impact. All about the impact.
Yeah,
not
man.
About the, I feel that.
That's my whole angle on things, man. It's human connection and connecting with people, and and talking about what's really going on in people's lives, man. Because so many things happen to people, and people just go silently by, and we don't know that they're hurting or in pain. And the thing is, me and you, we could have done something about it, but we didn't even know.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So, that's what I hope to do, because I'm not going to live forever. I hope to imprint, peace, love, and compassion, and a helping hand for people. That's what the legacy I want to live, and hope that my son continues on with that. My sons, actually, because I got 2 boys.
Yeah. And then lastly, before we're going to close with the Think Now song, but my last question is, what does music mean to you? What does music mean to Lejend?
It's my refuge from reality. You know what I'm saying? Because things are so real. Things are so real, they can be scary. You know what I mean? What's going on in society can be scary. And sometimes that refuge, but don't get me wrong, it's not me running away from those things. It's just me taking shelter and gaining a different perspective on those things. But it's just really a refuge and a therapeutic thing for me. You know what I'm saying? So I've done this for almost 15 years, made music, you know what I'm saying? And I've just recently started to make some type of money from it. So, I've done it for years with no money. So, and that didn't bother me whatsoever. I just love doing it.
Yeah. The passion sustains you, man. It definitely is sustainable. Does. And then what did Quincy Jones say? He's like, don't worry about the money. As long as you put the time in, it'll eventually come. I'm a firm believer in that. Last question. We got.
Can I say one thing though?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Whatever your passion is, whatever you truly believe in, don't ever stop it, no matter what. Because there's times I've thought of stopping, and for some reason I didn't. And like you said, there's so many things that have come my way just for the fact that people know and I've been doing this, and I've been doing this at a high level for so long. So if you're doing your thing, whatever it is, don't give up on it.
No, that's some priceless advice. And then the last one is shameless promotion. Where can cats see Lejend? What do you have going on? Your social media? It's your time.
Lejend, Lejend, #1.bandcamp.com. That's where you can go stream my new project, Ears and Eyes to the World. Please go and check that out. You can check it out for free. I'm not asking for any money. I just want to listen. That's all I want. And I'm active on Instagram and Twitter. So, Twitter at Texas Heat, Instagram at Lejend, Lejnd 3102. And also, I just want to say that I'm completely humbled and thankful to be a guest on Deeper Than Music, because I think this is an amazing podcast. And Monster has told me so much about you. He said you're a stand-up individual. And I just, peace and blessings for you. And I hope you keep showcasing cats like myself.
Oh, man, no doubt, man. Hey, if you know any artists that want to be on, definitely let us know, man. We love to, get deeper than music. This is about the human connection and the story behind the music.
That's dope. That's dope.
So
I love that.
So we have Think Now that we're going to close out. Can you give us the rundown?
Man, I actually, 2017, man, I took a trip out to Cali. My man Architect, he was like, yo, come up here, man. I just want to vibe out with you, make some music. So I just went out there with him. We just sat around his crib, talked about a whole bunch of stuff. from sports to history that dude's got so much knowledge. Just sat around and talked about a whole bunch of things and cooked food, and we made music, man. So it's just really time for me to connect with my man